Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2016 Perfect World Team Table Tennis Championships in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm Adam Babra, with me, Don Parker. How you feeling, Don?
Feeling good, enjoying this semi-final. Intrigued to see Zhang Woojin making his appearance here. He's only played one game so far in the tournament. It's pretty tough to come in and play your second game against the Olympic champion. But I believe there's a little bit of a history to this match.
Well, I'll say it's quite a dramatic one. There was a picture on Facebook, the official ITTF Facebook page, of Jike being held back with an aggressive stare and point as if there was a fight about to break out. And apparently what happened was, you know, Jike's had a shaky last, I'd say, 12 months or so of his career, been in and out of injury, suffered some bad losses to players that, you know, you wouldn't expect him to lose to. Zhang at the Asian Championships beat him twice, went 2-0 against him. And there was one point that apparently the Chinese team, I think Jike thought hit the shirt of Zhang and Zhang was convinced that it did not and was honest about it. And Zhang has always been a big Jike fan, absolutely adores him, but I think was sort of petrified at the anger that was shown. And then when Jike lost the match, I think felt like his opponent was a cheater, and it got really heated, and so that's where the needed to be held back happened. Can you imagine table tennis having your players have to hold you back from your opponent?
Never seen it before.
Right, I mean, there was actually a little something last night with France and England that got calmed down pretty quickly, but it was quite interesting. It was actually between two players that play for the same club, same team and league. So even though this is his first match here, or one of his few, I guess, in this tournament, Zhang 2-0 against Jike, probably the best chance out of any of these matches for a Korean player to beat one of the Chinese teammates.
I know it's very easy in hindsight, and if hindsight was an Olympic event, I'd be a gold medalist at it. But to get this game here now, I would have liked Zhang to have a couple more games under his belt. I think to come in here, he's been here for 6 days, he's played one game in one match. I think he's tough. Well, let's wait and see. But he's 3-0 down. Zhang looks pumped up here. As you say, he's not had the best 12 months with injuries, etc.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Getting used to I mean, these players are playing all over the planet. You've got different conditions everywhere you go, from humidity to the change of flooring, some of the layers here. I think getting settled in, and also coming in relatively cold. Some of the worst losses are the first round of any tournament, the biggest upsets. Zhang is a fighter, and the irony here, they're both fighters, right? Zhang very vocal. He'll run around, he can fish, he can even counter from off the table with his backhand. His game has really impressed me. He's a 2013 junior world champion. And I think some of the junior world champions tend to fall off in the transition between the junior game and the adults game. You know, Patrick Bohm reached a certain level and then had some unfortunate family business, and, you know, between losing his father and falling out of practice a bit, just hasn't quite hit the potential that I think we all think he could have. Zhang has been quite strong continuing though. Yeah, you were going to say?
No, I was just going to say, it's interesting, isn't it, watching this transition from junior world champion or the best juniors through to becoming the best seniors. Worth noting, of course, Ma Long, Fang Bo, Fan Shendong were all junior world champions. They're all sat on the China bench. So there are examples of players who come through, and there are examples of players who don't. And I guess the secret of being a top-class coach is why, and trying to rectify that.
And the power that he's demonstrating here, these are risky shots. Zhang taking it early off the bounce right down the line. Look at the score, 5 points in a row. He lost the first 3. Very quick turn, subtle. I mean, this is one thing that is so valuable. Being able to make that turn quickly doesn't allow your opponent the peripheral vision and the foresight to see to hit it down the line. Zhang developing more and more power in his game. He's staying closer to the table, which is effective. So much spin on that ball. And really just the racket speed, and I'd say his balance. Zhang balance is part of the reason he's so effective. He's one of the more unsung heroes in the Korean team. I think he'll be stepping up and earning himself a very solid spot in the lineup.
Jike there stepping across to return what he thought was going to be a short serve to the forehand with his backhand. Last minute adjustment. Zhang sends a fast serve deep into the backhand. 8 consecutive points.
And this is just incredible. From the start of this match, I was thinking, you know what, maybe Don's right. I mean, this is just too tough to adjust this quickly. Yeah, history's history, but Jang Jike is just strong when he turns it on. 9 points in a row to come back.
Let 3-9. Let 3-9.
Lukewarm receive, and it's the first point from Jang Jike out of the last 10. I mean, really, to score 9 points in a row against Jang Jike, your whole game, from serve receive to soft touch to spin, Jang Woojin had everything. That's an excellent shot. Patience from Jang Jike's slow spinny shot, just really times it perfectly to cover that ball.
Came across the inside of the ball there. Sent it out even wider.
Ball seemed to come back a little quicker than Jang Woojin was expecting. Sort of an awkward shot on the forehand side for the follow-up attack. And I'm not impressed with the placement. The shot was outstanding, but Jang Woojin hit it right into the forehand, clearly not wide enough to really force him to move.
Turn popped up. Zhang.
Still took a little bit off the top of the net, but even still right into the body with power. We've got 4 game points here.
Woojin still with 3 game points.
Little break off the top of the net again, 11-7, first game for Jang Woojin. And this might be the only match where you really believe that it will be more than 1 game here. We'll see game 2 just after this short break. So we're back for the second game. Jang Woojin leading 1-0 over Jang Jike. I'm really curious what's going to happen if Jang Woojin can win this match, what it'll mean for Jang Jike in terms of the Olympics moving forward. If the coaching staff will recognize, well, it's just this one guy and his playing style. But the fact is, he's a foreigner, and it's just someone else who can beat Jang Jike. Even though he missed that shot, I really like the racket speed, the fact that he's quick to turn. That shot makes it, it's going to be threatening.
Heavy backspin on the Zhang Jike backhand.
This is one of his best shots. I mean, between him and Fan Jiandong, that over the forehand side of the table with the backhand banana flip. So much wrist. I think this is where his back has really suffered, coming in and leaning forward for that shot.
First 3 points to Zhang Jike, but of course he won the first 3 points in the first game.
Yeah,
lost the next 8 or 9.
Yeah, next 9 in a row. Again, it all comes down to end game, really, whoever finishes. It's a well-placed serve right into the body and kicking. You could hear the grunt of Jang Woojin trying to get his upper body out of the way.
Heavy backspin as well, cutting underneath the ball. Ball there fizzing with backspin.
Not mockery, but definitely anything you can do, like, oh, here, handle this. Gives it right back, fast along with underspin to the backhand. Both players handling a lot of nets there, recovering the ball, keeping it in play. So this time, Jang Jike takes the first 4 points. And you've got, well, I guess he's got 4 points anyway early on. Jang Woojin now, 2 in a row, first towel break.
Great backhand topspin down the line. For me here, the key tactic's going to be creating the opportunity to get in with the first strong topspin. I would suggest that 4 out of 5 points will be won by the player who gets in first. Again, the backspin on the service, the wrist coming underneath the ball. If it goes to the back of the ball coming forwards, not as much backspin. If it goes underneath and brushes, then there's more backspin.
Step around takes the risk. Jang Jike getting the right leg behind the left, the bowling step. That ball comes back on the counter. He's going to be stretched really far to the forehand, but you can see him already starting to move. It's like they're taking one shot, and as they're finishing it, they're preparing for the next already. I think my favorite demonstration of that was Wang Li-Qin years ago. Excellent shot to the middle. You know, you were talking about the serve. When I hear players talking about where on the racket they're hitting the ball to change the spin, it's just mind-blowing how many different factors there are that the receiver has to concentrate on to evaluate the spin coming at them. Thought that was a confident block, deep into the backhand, turns and takes the big forehand shot, but just has to land it. Yeah, you can see the frustration, but I really like that both of these players are so bold and fearless that they go for the big shots, and they're making a high percentage of these risky shots. A little bit off the edge of the racket. Could see the apology from Jang Woojin. An 8-3 lead this time for Jang Jike, say pretty much the opposite of where it was last game around this point. 9-3 for Jang Woojin in the first.
Long fast serve. Zhang Woojin steps around the backhand. Jang Jike anticipates, returns straight down the line.
That's a loose ball. That one should be Jang Woojin's. And it's Jang Jike now with 6 game points to tie it up. And that's it, 11-4. Jang Jike taking authority here, taking it into his own hands, showing some dominance. We'll be back for game 3 to see who takes the lead after this. So as we come back for game 3, it's tied up at 1 game apiece. If you look at points, we've got 18 points to 15 points. Jang Jike's won the 18. But again, in the end, it's just games. Whoever scores gets 3 games first.
Strong forehand topspin from out wide from the backhand. I thought tactically in the first game, Zhang won the first 3 points, and then just, if anything, took his foot off the pedal a little bit. He allowed Woojin just to get in with a few strong topspins. In the second game, he completely tamed up Zhang. He gave Woojin very few opportunities to play the first topspin. I'm sure Liang, again, tactically so strong, stressed the importance of making that first topspin.
Yeah, I think one thing that Jang Jike's changed is when Jang Woojin gets the opening shot on the body, Jang Jike takes a little more time with it. Trust that he has enough power still. In the first game, I felt like he was rushing some of those shots, just trying to play, you know, clear winners off counter shots. Sometimes people have to remember that their 80% is enough to put pressure on. They don't have to hit it past their opponent. They just have to cause some discomfort, even if it takes a shot or 2 to win the point. That was an example. You could hear the sound. It just seemed like a hit to kill rather than start a rally. But credit again to Jang Woojin for keeping a lot of spin on the ball, keeping it low to the net. His hair looks so cool in that super slow-mo. A little shallower on the table, I thought that time, but heavy spin, and it's tough to stay on top of for Jang Jike.
Again, it was just on the backhand side. Again, he's trying to get over the ball. That's 2 consecutive points where that's happened. Good spins, though, from Zhang Woojin.
Another sign, I think, of a real true world-class player is their ability to adapt to their opponent, to come off a tough loss and come back out a different player. Last time I saw that, Stefan Fagel lost 11-1 to Fan Zhendong, came back and won the next 2 games. That was some power from Jang Jike, and that's the problem with the shot that's clearly into the forehand. It gives Jang Jike too much time to set up his shot. Doesn't force him to move his upper body out of the way or play it off balance. Jang Woojin's going to have to be very intentional when he plays wide, play it extra wide, or play it on the body. I feel like Jang Jike's taking control now over the table with that backhand, really in the driver's seat, pushing Jang Woojin off the table. Most of the time when I think about Jang Woojin's game, I think about him fishing and running it down, but so far this match, I don't think I've seen him there for a single point. This is determination to stay in and stay a threat.
Zhang Jike there, he's eager to get in behind the serve. He's really concentrating hard. Straight away, in with the backhand topspin, clever placement as well. He went out wide to the forehand. He lost that first game. Been a different player that's come out for game 2, game 3. Again, even though he lost the point, Zhang Jike, he was being positive on the backhand. He's actually made a few errors. 3 of the points he's lost, he's hit off the end of the table with the backhand. Zhang Woojin still in it. 4-6.
4-7.
Across the forehand side of the table, playing the backhand topspin. Good use of the wrist.
Jang Woojin just a little bit out in front there, the ball more shallow on the table. You can see it here a little better from this angle. Yeah, where that hits a little closer to the net and it changes the timing. This is why it's so important for core strength to be able to move your feet and come back into the table when need be, not just side to side, but in and out. Soft hands from Jang Jike. I will say his over-the-table game and touch, so many times against Ma Long and other top players, his receive is so effective. He really just shuts down third ball attacks, fourth even.
5-9.
The leading edge. Zhang's back. Jang Jike's back. Flew off the end of the table.
I think this is a very strong use of a long push, though. You can see it was low to the net. It was clear. It just gives him more predictability. A little more time for Jang Woojin to counter. So much pace on that counter attack. We've seen it a few times. He just has to be set up in the right spot and not on the run when he hits it.
But again, it's a classic example of the first player to get in with a strong topspin wins the point. And there we have Liang calling timeout. Just sensed that Zhang Woojin, the last 2 points, he's the one who's taken the initiative first. He's the one who's won both points. And I suspect Liang here will just be calming the situation down, reminding Zhang Jike to stay aggressive, to stay positive, to try and stay close to the table, get in with that first strong topspin, dominate the rally, which is what he's done for 70% of this game.
I think fans watching around the world, when you get to see these slow motion shots of Jang Jike's technique from both sides, it's just so impeccable, so flawless. Watching him in the practice halls. But out here, as far as creativity goes, really this is the beauty of table tennis and a lot of sports in general. But I do think, depending on who you're playing in style matchup, Jang Woojin, currently world rank number 29, playing current world rank number 4, and is a serious threat. Jang Woojin has overwhelmingly losing records to most players in the top 10. You know, you wouldn't put your money on Jang Woojin over a lot of the players in the top 20. But right now, it still feels like a stressful situation for Jang Jike based on the tactics put out by Jang Woojin and the specific skill sets.
6-9.
I really think Jang Woojin's power is developing too.
9-7.
Again, backspin on the service. Bounced a little bit high, but it was close to the net. Zhang Jike stretching a little bit when he played the flip. But now 9-7, Zhang Jike with his 2 serves to come.
Beautiful shot right down the line, and as spinny and low as that was, Jang Jike, just like a doctor, an incision cuts right in. Watch him counter this ball, turns full squat to the ground to really get around it. And you can see right there how much it means to him. This is going to be a huge vengeance match for him, and he needs to take game 3, in my opinion. 3 game points now.
He was out very wide there, Adam. It's always difficult to go down the line when you're that wide out. He's that far out, actually. He's still got to play a sort of almost a diagonal shot to go down the line. And now, Zhang Woojin with his 2 serves to come. He needs to take both points.
We've seen him do comebacks before, but not this late in the game, not yet. 1 more to go. The touch, and there's so many things to concentrate on here. You can be looking for the attack, of course, wherever wherever the opportunity is, but having the short, soft game, touching it right off the bounce, getting it in early can be just as important, and it was right there. The cut between them.
Left. 9-10.
Oh, and he misses it altogether. Gets the third ball opportunity. He's won so many points with that spinny forehand. He's gonna have to move on. Frustrating, but in game 4, he'll be down 1-2. Enjoy some highlights, game 4, just after this.
of game. Woojin to serve. Lao out.
We're back for game 4, and what an exciting finish in game 3. Jang Woojin had the opportunity to tie it up. Now he's really got his back against the ropes here. And both players come out firing. Even in the blocks, you can see the aggression. They're just hungry out here for the attack. We were talking a little bit about Olympics, Don. Chance, if Jang Jike goes, a chance to defend his title. That would be very rare. The men's side, we don't have any player who's won 2 Olympic singles.
It's a big gap, isn't it? 4 years, every 4 years. And as you say, Zhang fighting for his place in Rio, but he's fighting pretty well.
You can see he's fired up, he's vocalizing. Now, more than almost any player, he tends to keep his cool until the very end when he's won the big overall match. When he's won the title, that's when he releases and the celebrations come out. I actually wonder what's going to happen on the handshake here. I'm very curious to see their interaction, just because of the tension that's built after the Asian Championships.
An error against the soft block there from Zhang Jike, but again, he's doing everything right at the moment. He's looking to get in with that first strong topspin, playing positive. What you can't afford to do here is play passive. Keeping it down the backhand.
Oh, just missing the edge, the jumping lobs, and Jang Woojin scratching his head and pulling on his hair. Most exciting point of the match so far. This is the one I've talked about. I've seen him play so much from off the table. A little bit lower one on the last ball. And he's trying to get the opportunity to step around and come in with the forehand counterattack. Fun points right there. Fooled him completely. He had his non-racket hand up to try and catch the ball. That's how fooled he was. He was covering the forehand side with the racket. Excellent deception and quick movement from Jang Woojin. You have to be so fast to fool Zhang Jike. Rocket power there, snap backhand.
A great variation as well. He's been spinning on the backhand, then all of a sudden here, just watch the replay. They're just hitting through it a bit more. Ball has a slightly different trajectory, slightly different spin on it. Superb variation.
Oh my goodness, from that angle, that looked just superb. Low coming into the body, and he determines to hit this ball. Watch this one more time. Fast block, right off the bounce, a bit of inside out spin down the short line of the table, and that deserves a little lap around the backcourt for sure. Had to come nearly over his head, still brushing the side of the ball with it. Just a one-point game here. Zhang Jike still leading with his second serve. The placement of that loop is really causing some trouble there. Racket head straight up on the forehand side.
This time it was heavy topspin. If you remember, the backhand hit was hard and flat. This forehand topspin throws it up, comes up the back of the ball. Heavy topspin.
Burned. Lined him up, knocked him down, sent him into the backhand corner deep, and played it right down the line.
Zhang Jike here runs around blind. There he goes. Total commitment to playing his forehand from the backhand side. The only problem is the ball went down the line.
Similar situation there. Jang Woojin started to step around. But the service placement was strong enough to cause some trouble for Jang Jike. We got the whole Chinese bench on their feet, even though Jang Jike lost the point, to remind him that they're there, showing support, pump him up. And the grunt work, I mean, every ounce he puts into that, just a little bit of extra spin, and the fact that Jang Jike tries to play the risky shot to the short side of the table. I think this is something that's coming with strength and age, but Jang Woojin really developing his power and spin. It's still a ways to go, but this could be going to a fifth and decider. Wow, Don. A lot of back and forth here in this drama.
The last 3-4 points, Zhang Woojin has been the dominant force.
And it looked like right there, Lou Golion called everybody on your feet. Get behind him. Considering the context of what these two have had in the last year head-to-head, this just really thickens the plot for me. Just missing off the top of the net now. Big opportunity too, because Jang Jike was hung out in the backhand court.
Would have been a winner. See again on the replay. Just watch how Zhang goes round. Zhang Jike, that is. Zhang Woojin trying to go down the line. It would have been point, but it gives Zhang Jike a lifeline now. He's got his 2 serves to come. He needs these 2 points for 8 all. Whoops.
6-8.
Do you know what happened there?
Let's serve.
Oh, straightforward. The reaction was so unusual, I thought there might have been a conversation with the umpire. Oh, that was an opportunity. The heavy spin down the middle has been so effective for Jang Woojin.
Liang got a bit of a grin on his face there. I'm not sure. Maybe they're reflecting on the history of the previous encounters between these two.
We've got a timeout for Jang Woojin's side. It's Lee Chol-sung who's going to be talking through here. Sometimes people get a little bit tense as the situation gets tighter, their muscles tighten up a little bit, and suddenly shots that they've been making throughout the match start missing a little bit. I don't know, Don, you used to be quite a high-level player as well. You ever try playing after lifting weights?
No, I didn't. And you flatter me when you say I played. I did play internationally, but I very rarely won in big games. I was a bit like you said when you were talking about the coaching. It's the coach. I went into coaching, so, and as a coach, worked with some great players. Desmond Douglas, Alan Cook, Chen Xinhua, the Chinese superstar, came over and played for England. And I never really recommended the heavyweights. A lot of lightweights, a lot of use of the body weight to get the strength. But I was always nervous about heavyweights causing injury.
That's Seo-won's sister on the left. And on the right, I guess the two of them are promoting table tennis around the world online. Nice to see a lot of supporters here. Yeah, the reason I brought up the weights is when you get tight, it's really tough. Like your muscle memory isn't quite the same. So anything these players can do to stay loose and play their game is going to work to their advantage. Several points in a row here. Jang Jike ties it out right after the timeout, too, against him.
Zhang Woojin going down the line again. He's clearly identified that as his priority. As soon as he can, get out wide to Zhang Jike's forehand.
I want to see more forehands from Jang Woojin. There they are, and those were just furious. Fabulous forehands from off the table. So fast, could have left a smoke trail in the air. Look at this again. He's in the air covering the wide forehand. This one comes wider right off the side of the table, and it's hooking back, and that's the finisher.
I think Zhang Jike thought one of his had missed, the one prior to that one.
We've seen that happen before with Jang Jike. Oh, never a good time for a missed serve. But right now, my goodness, needed that one. I'm happy to see him getting the forehand into play. I just really think the backhand, he spent several points from his lead. You know, when he was at 8 points, holding still for a while, but the backhand failed him. It's just a high pressure shot with a little less spin, and he needs that spin. He has the spin, he just has to use it. And on the forehand side, he's much more confident and effective with it.
He went for a big serve there, a little bit unlucky. Had it gone on the table, I think it would have set the rally up for him. So again, full marks for being positive, but Zhang now with 2 serves.
Oh, the very back edge of the table. Tough to tell how clean it was, but regardless, it's a strong shot. Now that's a lot of edge. Woojin stuck staring for a moment. Didn't see an apology, but either way, it's match point for Jang Jike. Oh, and he gets the edge right back. Edge for edge. Instant table tennis karma. Man, it is nerve-wracking watching some of these points. Really just having to fight to stay on top of that. If Jang Jike makes that shot, the crowd will be on its feet in an uproar. So here we all, 10-all in game 4. Serve back. Wasn't able to get the forehand into play. Jang Jike, backhand to backhand, earns another match point. He just seems a little bit diffused on the backhand side, like he's not able to generate enough spin under pressure. Not with the pace coming at him. See if he can save another match point. Oh, off the top of the net, the fortune comes for Jang Jike. A little bit of an apology there at the last moment. I wanted to see the handshake. Got to look out onto court for that, but Jang Jike takes it. And a comeback. Vengeance after losing twice at the Asian Championships, but world number 4, the standing Olympic gold medalist, 2-time world champion for men's singles, Jang Jike takes down Jang Woojin. And China will move on over Korea Republic to the men's teams finals here in Kuala Lumpur. Stick around, we've got more exciting matches for you in today's semifinals for women, semifinals again for men, coming up later.